Not for real though. You guys are about to become my digital diary. It's been a little too long, so I'm sorry. I did not fall off the love for podcasting. I had a busy few weeks. Laguna got sick. Tons of other excuses that literally nobody cares about. You've probably already clicked away, but I need y'all because I need you to become my digital diary, and I need to figure out if I'm the only person that's like this. And this is like super personal, but I just need to address it because it's like so bad. And maybe if I talk through it with you, I'll get clarity and hopefully you'll be like, oh my God, same. Or you'll be like, Ricky, you're fucked up. But this episode, Finders Keepers, really it should be called Makers Keepers because I have a severe possession disorder over Laguna. And we're going to figure out where this comes from together. And I'm going to give you my theory. Yet at the same time, hopefully you listen and you're like, oh my God, maybe that's where it comes from for me. Because I know a lot of parents have this like possessive nature over their child. And I think that there's like a little bit of camaraderie over women and mothers having this because a lot of them go through like this postpartum thing where it's like that was in my belly and now it's everyone's around it. And that may be hard to battle sometimes. And while I don't understand that, for some reason I have this same like that's mine instinct. It's created a lot of complications in my relationship with people and Laguna. And I wanted to talk on a podcast about it because I'm like, I can't be the only one that feels this way. And if I am, like, potentially the feedback on this video will be like, no, Ricky, you're literally psychotic, which maybe I am. But when Laguna was first born, I immediately had like this, like, I don't want to share her. And this started really early on. And I have a few theories, but like the journey, like, even when she came home from the hospital, Laguna's bassinet was on my side of the bed. Super uncommon. And there's an argument to be made that like there's just a stereotype that it has to be on the same side as the mother because like that's been the expectation. And I can just change that as like, as a man, I have every right to. And I think there's an argument to be made like, wow, what a helpful guy. But this gave me like a serious possessive issue, not between me and Rachel. That's one person that I obviously, you guys are probably like, no shit, Ricky. Like you have no right to be possessive with Laguna when it comes to Rachel, which I'm not. But it gave me like this nature, like this is my baby. And outside of pushing her out and breastfeeding Laguna, I have like a, this is my baby. Like I do everything for this baby. This is my seed. And I think that that protectiveness is really good in some ways, but in other ways it's really bad. Like I don't like when people hold her. Like I even went as far, there was a little kid that like kissed Laguna on the arm, a family friend, and I was like, don't do that. And this is like a little 6-year-old kid. And Rachel was like, Rookie. And he was being sweet, but I just was like, don't do that. And I don't know what it is that gets into me, but like even when people kiss Laguna or hold her the whole time, like I want my 2 cents in. I'm like, don't do that. Or like, you better not be doing that. And I'm like that annoying parent. And I can't, and I'm not a helicopter parent. Like I'm not a helicopter parent. I let Laguna explore. I definitely give her like range to make mistakes. I throw her around. When she falls, I'm like, nobody look at her so she doesn't cry. Like I'm like a little, rough around the edges parent sometimes, but when it comes to like the general possessiveness, I'm like, you guys better not be fucking touching my baby or being fucking rude to her. And I don't know where that comes from. And the one thing that I wanted to talk about on the podcast that like maybe could give me some clarity is it when, because I had a rough childhood growing up. Like everything that could probably happen to a kid likely happened to me. I mean, not going to get too deep into it, but definitely SA, we're talking abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, like kind of bullying, all that's like, I was a troubled child. I got in trouble all the time. It created like an ostracizing. I feel like I was ostracized from a group because I was the troubled kid, but I was only the troubled kid because I lacked probably some attention and yada, yada, yada. I don't know if this makes me like so possessive or crazy over Laguna because I'm Like, I can't let that happen to her. And so I literally think everybody's out to get her, which is, I know, psycho. Like, when people like make jokes about her, like, can I tell you one thing that just fucking aggravates the shit out of me? I even told my grandma, like, my grandma said this and it pissed me off. And I'm like, why am I getting mad at my fucking 72-year-old grandma? But people will be like, Laguna's really friendly and smiley and super sweet. Like, the most aggressive thing about Laguna is her dad. She's a sweetheart, loves everybody, always smiles at everybody. She's ready for the attention, camera time, all that. But people will see that sometimes. They're like, oh my God, she's such a flirt. And I'm just like, why the fuck would you say that? Or I told my grandma, I'm like, don't say that. She's not a flirt. Like, what? She's a baby. And I've kind of had this justification within myself where I tell myself, like, that's good, Ricky. Like, you shouldn't allow people to say that about a baby. They're just a baby. Let her be a baby. And that's true. Like, I think that when people are like, oh my God, she's a flirt or something, like, I think you somewhat have a right to defend your child and be like, all right, she's actually 10 months old, probably not flirting with anyone. And I might sound like a crazy little helicopter parent, but I'm like, I don't understand why we have to bring like intimacy into a conversation around a 10-month-old, that type of intimacy, I should say. But it's not so much what my point is, it's where it's coming from, right? So my point might be like, no need to bring that into my 10-month-old aura, but where it's coming from is like, why the fuck would you say that? Like, don't say that about her. Leave her alone. Don't touch her. Don't talk to her. And it's like, I'm like taking Laguna and I'm putting her in this box where like no one can get close to her. And it's like, it's tough, bro. Like, it's especially tough for Rachel to see because we live far from Rachel's family. And like, I'm going to be completely honest. The first time they met Laguna, I felt as if, but that's my baby. And me and Rachel just met. And so I wasn't like, I've only met them 4 times. It's like, it created this little moment between me and Rachel. And she's like, what the fuck? This is my baby. Like, this is my family. This is my baby. And I'm like, just pausing in time because I'm like, what's going on? Like, everyone's holding her. And it was like stressful. Thank God I have an empathetic partner, because when we first brought Laguna home, we lived with my family, like literally lived in the same house as my family. So Rachel was like understanding. She's like, dude, that's how I felt. Like, I know it's hard. Like, you have this baby with you and then it's hard to like watch everybody be all up on her and yada, yada, yada. So Rachel gave me forgiveness when I probably maybe didn't deserve it. Well, I guess I did, but Rachel was sweet to me. Thank God. But I'm like, it started to make me think like, yo, why am I like this? Like, why am I so possessive over Laguna? And my only theory is so much trauma happened to me growing up that I'm convinced that, and I know how easy it happened, and I know how close those people were to me when it happened, and I know how overlooked it was. That's a huge thing. It's like how overlooked some of these things damaged me, but like later in my life, I like really feel real damage from them. And so I think I have this keen eye on Laguna, like, don't fuck with her. Don't give her a little bit of this damage. Don't put your personality, your beliefs, your ideas into my daughter. Like, I want her to be pure. And I always bring this up, but when Laguna was first born, I did 3 things. I held her and I started crying immediately. And then I don't know why, but I started singing Paint the Sky Red by Rod Wave. And he's like, he sings a part in there. He's like, so if you need me, you can call me. I'll come running for you, darling. I can't sing, but I started singing that to her immediately. And then I made her this promise. I looked at her and I said, I will never let the world dim the shine that you came into it with. And what I meant by that is like, so much of the outside can try to dim a child's shine. If you've ever read the book The Alchemist, it kind of talks about how it's always within you as a kid, and like your first instinct of who you really are is who you really are. And it can get dimmed by outside opinion and outside people and people saying things to you, doing things around you, judging things around you that make you kind of dim who you are slowly. And it's hilarious because like, if you don't unlock this part in your life, you'll never think it's true. But I grew up wanting to make YouTube videos. Like, it was weird. I always loved videos. My early friends can tell you that like I tried to start a YouTube channel when I was like 18, and it was so lame. I'm like, this is my first YouTube video. And some of my favorite people were like Casey Neistat. I loved him and his daily vlogging and yada, yada, yada. And it's funny how I've made my way back to making videos and I'm like actually fulfilling my purpose. I think my purpose truly is to be a father, but I'm like fulfilling my purpose of like sharing how amazing it is to be a father through the art form of like video and quick clips. And anyway, and so Laguna, whatever she has inside of her, this angel energy that she truly does have, you can feel it the moment you meet her. She's perfect. She truly is a perfect human being. Anytime someone, like, I feel like they fucking infest, is that the word? Infect her. I feel like people fucking infect her with their thoughts, their opinions, their brain. And it's like, I'm so hard and I'm so rough around the edges with people when it comes to her. Even my mom is like, Ricky, can you chill the fuck out? Because I feel like I don't even let my mom have her own relationship with Laguna. And I think to an extent, it's like you do have to keep your family in check. And I think that I do teach people around me. And if I haven't talked about it enough on social media, let my podcast be like, I have an episode about boundaries. Like, you do have the right to keep people in check. Like, if you start doing lame shit around my daughter, I'm going to call you the fuck out. If you're, I think there's a lot of bias in older generations, right? We have like racism, sexism, tons of biases in older generations that like I want to clear. I don't want Laguna to experience any of those biases. I don't want Laguna to learn those biases, right? There's things called learned biases, and I don't want her to learn those. And so I think I am very particular about what my daughter hears and what she's experiences around her. But again, it's not what I'm particular about because I do believe in boundaries and shit. It's where it's coming from. And where it's coming from is like, I don't even want you to breathe around her. And I don't fucking know why I'm like that. I'm like, I think everybody's out to get her and I know it's psychotic. I literally know and it's like, I am really friendly with her sometimes. In a sense, like I go to the gym and she goes to gym daycare. I don't mind that she goes to gym daycare. There's this girl there. I won't say her name, but she's so sweet. And Laguna loves her so much. And she always says, Laguna, I love you. And it's like, I love that interaction that they have. And I feel no possessiveness in that sense. But then I feel possessiveness with people that are closer to me. Is that fucking strange? Like my own best friend could be around Laguna and I might like irk the whole time. Like, don't do anything I don't want them to do. But then like the person at the gym is like, come here, Laguna. And I think they have the best intentions. Like, what is making me possessive in those different ways? Am I just fake? Like, I don't know. And I think it's a really hard thing to navigate as a parent because you can like run into this issue where, and people will tell you like, don't have an only child, they'll be weird, which Laguna's not going to be an only child. Obviously we have another baby on the way. And I wonder, am I going to be fucking like possessive over each one? You know, I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, what I'm saying is you can like shield your child so much that they are like, I'm not going to say weird. I don't think that's the case, but like they're like not exposed to enough life. And it's like, am I going to be someone that can't let Laguna go to school because I'm so fucking possessive over her? Or like, if a teacher or principal judges her, am I going to be one of those parents like, no, you don't know. That's not my daughter wouldn't have, because that was the most annoying thing ever. When I was a kid, I was blamed for everything. I know, woe is me moment, but I was like such the Ricky did it. And there were parents that had kids that like legitimately were fucking up, and I would be around them or whatever. And their parents would be like, oh, my kid would never, Ricky must have influenced him. And I'm like, are you guys fucking dumb? Like, am I going to be the parent that thinks Laguna would never? Like, could I be totally oblivious due to the fact that I'm like, that's mine, I have to protect her? I don't know. Like, I don't know how fucking deep this possessive strain in me goes, but like, I irk when people hold her. I irk when people, even when people comment on her, like, oh my God, she's so, like, obviously the flirtatious thing fucking annoys me. But like, let's say someone's like, she's so outgoing. Like, I'm like, even though she is outgoing, like, you're totally right. But I might be like, you better mean something nice when you say that. I don't know why. And it's become like an honest challenge for me to hide these emotions, and I like let them stress me out so bad, and I let them make me act out of character. And I think that it's created a little bit of a hurdle in like Rachel's relationship with me. Like, obviously nothing that we're struggling with, but I think Rachel is kind of like, this is like frustrating. Like, she has to like walk on glass probably sometimes. And I know it's a form of emotional abuse when you make your partner walk on glass around you. And I don't make her walk on glass around me, but like, because I'm so like overstimulated with other people, she probably feels like, fuck, I got to be like cognizant of how Ricky feels, all at the same time that she's trying to like ensure Laguna has a good experience, which I guess that's what a relationship is. Like, I shouldn't give everyone the easy road out, but still, I imagine that it's created a little bit of a hurdle for us. But moreover, like, I'm worried that Laguna is going to be like, Dad, you got to chill the fuck out. Like, you know, her growing up and me never like being okay with anything. Like, I know that's not going to be a great environment for her. It can become an environment that's actually like kind of toxic. And I also knew those kids that were like best friends with their parents, and that's like not such a good thing. Like, it's cool to be cool with your kid, don't get me wrong, but I think being best friends with your kid and like leveraging that, like, Laguna, what do you mean you want to go to your friend's house? Like, I'm your best friend. Dad's like, you don't want to hang out with dad? That's not good. Like, you got to let your child be themselves. Like, you're there to be their parent. And I'm getting too much into parenting techniques right now, but I'm like, am I going to be so possessive that, like, I don't know. And don't get me wrong. Again, there's boundaries. Like Laguna, I've been through some things that have, and you could disagree with me or agree with me. Like, Laguna will not spend the night at other people's houses. Like, that's done and decided. Like, and it's not even like, even if I know the parent, even if I know the kid, even if yada yada yada, 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 maybe I don't know the parents' other child, right? Like, a lot of the times it's like, you know, the parent, you know, the kid, you guys are super close. You even know the little brother, and he's cool too, but you don't know him that well. And he might make a decision that can scar your family. And I know I've been, again, see, like, you're probably thinking like, oh my God, Ricky, why does your head go there? Because I've been in a situation personally that's caused me trauma that's somewhat similar to what I'm talking about. And so that type of shit fucking scarred me. And now my daughter is probably the victim of like the severe possessiveness I have over her. And I don't know that it's fair. And I don't know that it's creating the greatest relationship that it could create. And I just think that I need to like say this out loud. And I titled this episode Finders Keepers because I'm like, I made that. It's fucking mine. I found that. I found this love. I found this unique love in my life, and it belongs to me. And I don't know how to lighten up. I don't know how I'm going to let Laguna go to school. I don't know how even if Laguna, like, say I moved to Tennessee, right? Like, let's just I moved to Nashville, Tennessee. I'm away from my family and Rachel's family. And my family's like, we really want to have Laguna for a month out of the summer. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Rachel's family's like, oh my God, like, it'd be so cool if Laguna could come down and like, even if you guys can't, like, if you and Rachel want to go do something awesome, like, we'd love to have Laguna and Bear. Don't know how. I don't know how I'm going to like let go of that control. It's fucking control, huh? It's probably controlling. And it doesn't mean to be. It's coming from a place of like, I love you so much that I just want to keep you safe. I just want to keep my baby safe. And so I have to talk through this possessiveness because I'm like, I got to say it out loud. I got to own it. I got to look it in the face. I got to start addressing it. And I don't know, maybe some of your comments or commentary can help. And like, maybe I am fucking crazy. Maybe I am a control freak. Maybe you guys are watching this like, wow, that nice guy on social media, like, he's kind of fucking insane. Shit. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. Like, I don't know if any other parents feel this feeling where it's like, that's my baby. And I'm not as bad as you guys think. Like you could listen to this and think like, oh my God, that guy's a psychopath, which, yeah, maybe I might be, but she goes to gym daycare for 90 minutes every single day that I go to the gym. You know, we've left her overnight with my mom. We've taken a trip to Seattle for 3 days and she's been with my mom. I'm not like absolute, you know, micromanaging freak over it, but I am, you know, when you hold my baby, I'm like, oh, make sure you do that. I am fucking annoying. I think that's what I'm getting at. I'm really annoying. Like, if you've been around me in Laguna, I'm annoying, and I'm sorry. If you're listening to this and you're someone that's suffered from my fucking annoyance, I apologize. I just love her so fucking much. I would literally do anything for her. And I think that this trauma has made me want to keep her safe so bad that I haven't been able to unlock the side of me that is stepping back as dad and saying, I'm here to be your dad. You deserve your own life experiences. And I know she's only 10 months old. You guys are probably laughing at me because you're like, she's 10 months old. Like, it's okay to be all over her. But I got another baby on the way. And I'm like, am I going to be the same way? What if I'm this way with both of them? Like, if I'm like, you know, can't ever let anything go. And my mom says this to me. She's like, Ricky, you're literally me. Not in the sense of possessiveness, because I think my mom wasn't bad about possessiveness with us. But my mom worked herself to a bone. Like my mom was a single mom of 3 kids by the time she was 24, and she worked her ass off, and she worked so hard that one day she snapped. And she changed her whole life in like 5 minutes. And that was like, oh my God, like it shocked everyone around her. And she sees herself in me, and she's like, Ricky, like you're so amped up. You're so all into it. You're so all about your kids. You're so obsessed with being the dad that you want to be, that you know, Ricky, you got to let loose a little bit. And I refuse to. And I think people look at social media people and creators, or God forbid I have to say it, influencers sometimes, and they think that there's like nannies around, and the gym daycare is, other than that, like I'm really out here doing this shit. Like that's one thing about me and Rachel. Like we don't have a fucking nanny. Me and Rachel didn't go on a date from January to August for 8 months straight when we moved to Arizona. We had a going away party in LA on January where my mom's best friend watched Laguna and my sister watched Laguna. And then the next time that we had a babysitter was just 2 weeks ago when my mom watched Laguna so we could go see a movie. Nothing overnight. Like I'm out here being a fucking dad. There is no nanny. And maybe that's why I am so possessive, because every little fucking move I've been a part of, dude. Laguna's first this, first that, first this, first that, first this, first that. I've been there for every single moment, and I'm blessed to only work my labor job 3 days a week, which has allowed me to be home a lot with Laguna. But it's also like solidified this, like that's my fucking baby. I have like no moments where I can let go. And like the only person that doesn't suffer from the severe possessive disorder that I have is Rachel. That's someone that I'm like, you got my baby. You were good. And honestly, sometimes I think Rachel does feel the pressure because I'm so psycho that like I'll come in, I'm like, yo, where's Laguna? She's like, oh, sorry, babe. She just woke up. Like I'm getting up right now, because I'll hear her on the Nanit, or I'll know she's awake because I check the Nanit every 5 seconds when I'm gone. And Rachel will like kind of feel sorry if she didn't get up within the first like 2.5 minutes. And I tell her, I'm like, oh my God, no. But she probably is worried because I'm so like, is she okay? Like, did we? And I'm like so all over and amped up. And yeah. Anyway, I had to get this out. I have not signed up with a therapist, which I need to do. So thanks for being my therapist today. I love you guys.